Hey everybody, it's your hospitality friend Glenn in the heart of New Orleans on Bourbon Street at the Royal Sonesta. For me, I've always wanted to stay here. So what I do, I got David Bilby over here who runs the place, and we're going to have a little talk about this. But first, I want to thank my friends over at Actabl. Actabl gives you the power to profit. Check them out at actabl.com. David, before we went on air, I was saying, I love talking about irreplaceable assets. That's what all the owners and investors are really looking for. You've got one of the premier assets under your care here. How cool is that?
That is awesome. I've been here just under a year. I'm from New Orleans. My wedding reception was here 31 years ago.
No way.
So, yep. So it's iconic property in the city. It's the center of the French Quarter. All the activity that happens in the French Quarter centers around the 300 block of Bourbon.
Yeah. All right. So David, when you first wanted to go into the hospitality industry, was working here a dream for you?
Yes, exactly.
So what's it like now leading this property?
Exactly. It's awesome. The general manager prior to me was here for 17 years. He decided to retire.
Right.
And I took advantage of this opportunity when they approached me. So it's kind of a dream come true for me.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing thing. It must be really interesting operating a particular property like this because it's more for folks that haven't been down here, more in that Las Vegas kind of a vibe than anything else. So you're dealing with a totally different type of energy than some other Sonestas in the country.
For sure. And inside the building itself, we have a live music venue that has great jazz and brass music. We have an oyster bar. We have a fine dining restaurant, Restaurant Revolution, that's open for dinner. Yeah. So everything that's happening in New Orleans, in the French Quarter, happens in this building.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little look around this property and check out one of the most classic, irreplaceable assets in the country. David, I'm going to let you take us on inside, all right?
Awesome.
Let's go for it. All right, so it's already pretty busy. It's Easter weekend here as we're recording this, right?
Exactly, yeah. So in traditional New Orleans fashion, we have 3 Easter parades on Easter Sunday. So things will get started pretty much at first thing in the morning. It'll go all day long.
That's pretty cool. Which is your favorite of the parades?
Historically, as a local, the Chris Owens Easter Parade is kind of my favorite. The most interesting is the Gay Easter Parade. Great costumes, great outfits.
All right, so I think I got at least 2 parades to see tomorrow. Let's go on in. I love the arrival experience here.
The Royal Sonesta, gentlemen. My name's Caleb. If you need anything, check it straight ahead.
Thank you, Caleb. I love that. Dave, it's a great way to welcome. Thanks, Caleb. It's a really great way to welcome people.
Right.
I got out of the cab and boom, I was greeted with a burst of energy. And to me, it really set the stage for the excitement that I was about to experience.
So yeah, and that's really setting the mood when you walk in, setting the tone, the initial interaction. Caleb's awesome. He's fantastic. And, kind of setting that mood is great.
Yeah, so let's take a look at this historic-looking lobby over here. Absolutely beautiful. Dave, feel free to lead the way.
Right. So obviously the fountain is the famous part. Here, everyone meets at the fountain at the Royal Sonesta, so it's a meeting place right here as well. To our right is our jazz playhouse, music nightly with big New Orleans brass bands, burlesque show, jazz singers. So he runs
everything I'd expect when you're hanging out on Bourbon Street.
Right, in New Orleans, and a kind of a controlled environment, a little bit more than you're out on the streets. So.
All right, so let me ask you this question. What's it like programming places to meet this particular type of audience that's out there? And does the audience change throughout the year?
It does. We have our regular acts, Big Sam's Funky Nation, the Brassaholics are kind of the regular.
Brassaholics,
right,
name.
Exactly. But during French Quarter Fest, during Jazz Fest, we'll switch up the acts a little bit based on what's going on in town.
Another bucket list thing, Jazz Fest for
There you go.
Hey, I know. All right, so let's take a look at the lobby.
Sure.
All right, what do we got here?
So here we've got our lobby, very traditional, New Orleans lobby. The hotel runs the entire block of Bourbon Street from the 300 block all the way to the end of the block. So we've got plenty of space, plenty of meeting rooms in the lobby, plenty of opportunity. The staff is awesome. Everyone here really enjoys. The 2 gentlemen, the 2 bellmen that are here this morning have each been here 25 plus years.
Wow.
So we have a lot of long-term, associates that have been here since their whole career.
Right, so let me ask you this. Let me go back to a shot of this together. these people seem really extraordinary. And honestly, I had the most amazing check-in experience today. And every single person I've had has just been a joy and delightful. Is it still really hard to hire down here? Or are they just happier people?
Right. It is more difficult today than it used to be, but we're fortunate enough to have a lot of long-term associates that have been here forever, aren't going anywhere.
Right.
Wayne, who is our concierge, has been here 37 years as of yesterday.
Wow.
Congrats, Wayne. He told me he has 37 more. He 37 more.
Wayne is laughing, but oddly enough, is only 38. So that must have been really, really weird at the beginning. Or, no, we're gonna get some more sales. But So, David, you had said earlier that the general manager was here for 17 years, but retired. And you have people who have been here for so long. How do you make that transition so they come in and trust you?
Well, being a local, it helps.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of these guys and a lot of folks that work here, I've worked with at other hotels here in the city. So being a local, you kind of have a little bit of built-in trust, as opposed to somebody from out of town who's like, this guy's
This hot shot from Germany.
Right, he's not going to hit New Orleans. But the team's been great. They welcomed me with open arms. Like I said earlier, my wedding reception was here 30 years ago. So, I've got a long history with the hotel.
For sure. Let's lead the way. Let's see the owner's lobby.
Sure. So right here is our check-in desk along with our concierge desk. Right off the lobby, we have parking available on site right down the stairs there. Great thing about New Orleans and about this hotel is once you get off of Bourbon Street, it's kind of a little oasis here. It's quiet. We've got a beautiful courtyard right out here that we'll take a look at in a moment. And it's,
it's amazing. The energy dulls down to a lower hum. Still feel the energy. It's just not as boom, boom in your head.
Exactly.
Right? All right, let's go take a look outside.
Sure.
Absolutely gorgeous courtyard over here. Really, everything is in that old school French kind of style, which is one of the reasons why I love this city.
Exactly.
So much.
And we are getting a renovation next year.
Hey, congratulations.
And staying with the theme throughout, just everything being updated.
Yeah.
So this gorgeous courtyard with a fountain. We actually have a wedding out here this Saturday.
Amazing.
So it's very popular with weddings and wedding receptions. And then we also have a second courtyard on the third floor
which we'll see. We'll see in a minute.
In a minute.
So awesome. This is really beautiful. So let me ask you while we're standing here, and let me come back here this way. When you're embarking on a renovation like this, how do you balance creating something that's modern for today's traveler while honoring the historic nature of a structure like this?
I let the professionals handle that. Yeah, I don't even get to pick my couch out at my house.
Right.
But
that's a really good point.
It's really.
I picked out a rug once and my wife kind of freaked out about it.
Exactly.
I was like, "This is a freaking casino rug." I'm like, "I got an auction."
Exactly.
She's like, "You paid what for that?"
Exactly. But we have a local design team. I think that's important. Someone that understands New Orleans and gets it. And it's a fine line between making it a little more contemporary, a little more modern, but staying true to the history of the hotel. And they've done a great job. I've seen some renderings. I haven't seen actually, pieces of furniture yet, but it's going to be really cool when it's done.
Excellent. I guess we should go check out upstairs now.
Awesome. Yeah.
Right?
Perfect.
All right. We'll be back in just a second.
We're up on the third floor where our pool deck is. We have great Sonesta Sunday pool parties out here.
Oh, cool.
Every Sunday we have guests and locals coming by, but our guests really enjoy this. And like we talked about earlier, if you have an interior courtyard room, you're totally isolated from all the craziness on Bourbon Street, but literally an elevator ride down to.
And I will tell you, one of the coolest things is just being able to get right back to your room. Because sometimes when the night's over.
Right, exactly. And it happens quickly.
Yes, it certainly does. So before we wrap up, what's the most gratifying thing to you having stewardship of an iconic property like this?
Just the fact that it's been here for 55 years, and it's such a for locals and both tourists. We have guests that have been here for 26, 27 years. They come back for Jazz Fest every year. They come back for Mardi Gras every year. And just to be able to meet them and hear their stories, I take a lot of pride in that and having them come back.
That's absolutely amazing. Dave, it's been incredible talking with you today, learning a little bit about the Royal Sonesta. Before we go, how can we learn more about the hotel?
Just experience it. I mean, it's, like I said, we have the oyster bar on property, the playhouse on property, fine dining restaurant Revolution. So everything you'd want, is here. So just the best way to do it is just experience it and tour it on your own.
Awesome. But there, thank you again. And thank you guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. 2. No vacancy. We'll see you later. Hasta luego. Bye.